I think after the two great speakers, I'm a little scared to read talk, but I'll try my best. Okay, regarding the question, what did the British do for our caste divisions? What role did they play? In 1871, they created a Criminal Tribals Act, most inhuman human rights violations act probably ever known. I think Malhotra mentioned this in his page 5, this Criminal Tribals Act. And of course I got to know about it from R.K. Ohri. He presented a paper on that. Okay, I think I got 3 topics very quickly. I only have 3 minutes for each of them. So let me go to the Criminal Tribals Act. Let's go into that first. Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, about caste. Our own constitution mentions 92 times, if we count them, caste, but not once Varna or Varna Dharma. You can ask why, we don't know. 1901 census of the British has 1646 castes. Every time you say Hindu, you've got to mention your caste. If you're a Muslim or a Christian, you don't have to. Yep, too close? Oh, okay. If I'm to, yeah. That's great. Now, in the next 1931 census, it went to 41-47 castes on a British time. Imagine how they created the caste divisions and caste warfare. And the scheduled caste grew in number from 821 in 1950 to 1208 in the year 2008. And STs are again up to 500 now. STs are recognized now. Just imagine how much we continued the British legacy. We created the caste divisions back. Let's go to the next one, please. Who are these Dalits today, tribes? Let's go to Criminal Tribes Act. The Act came into force in 1871 and spread out all over India. They have created all this. Let's go to the next one. We've got to move fast on this. So you can see the picture. You can go and see this picture in Wikipedia. Or you don't have to go to Ohri's paper or anything like that. This is what they have done. The nomadic tribes today, about 500 of them, still are suffering from this vicious, what we call Human Rights Violations Act. Britishers created it. Now, next one, sir. Yeah. Now we're talking about Ohri mentioned about Elias' work, Kanchalaya. Of course, Rajiv Malhotra spent several pages on this work of Elias from Hyderabad, Professor of Osmania University. His, actually Rajiv's book, you see 200 page 256 or something. He says, I want to kill Sanskrit. That's what he said. In other words, caste warfare situation has become so violent. He wants to look at India. Now the lower caste, upper caste are bound to clash and Hinduism will be dead. We will talk about, his book is post-Hindu India. Okay, let's go. Now I want to come to say how we can expose this fraudulent theory, very fraudulent propaganda of Kanchalaya and the Christian groups. Raju already talked a great deal about this Dalistan Alliance and so-called Dalit Freedom Network. So I don't need to go into that. Let me go to the third topic, and so on. We can talk about SCSTs. What is the status of SCSTs today after 60 years of independence? 60-some years. Now, we got an excellent paper by Rakesh Bahadur. Dr. Bahadur researched from our Government of India figures of Ministry of Human Affairs, Ministry of Human, what is called? Human Affairs, MHA. And also from planning, he has produced about 20 graphs, and I have all of them in here. I don't have time to show. The crime against SC/STs. We'll talk about this, a lot of crime against SC/STs by the upper caste. This is what they're saying, which is totally untrue. We have government figures, which the government is never sympathetic to this kind of, but correct things are, the crime against SC/STs less than 1% of the total crime. SC/STs are 26% of the population, but crime against them is less than 1%. Can you believe this? We don't, I have the actual figures year by year, decade by decade. How much these are relevant. You see, the last few years, the crime against SC/STs is in very less than 1% combined. Go right through here, next one please. These are, I have lots of, Rajiv Malhotra has produced a 120-page paper, a report, and I picked up several of these. I was amazed to see these things. So how much fraudulent propaganda is going on? Not only crime. Let's look at, I think there are a lot of graphs here on my, you don't see them? They're gone? Okay, I can tell them, I see that. Not only the crime against SC/STs, how are they advancing in terms of progress, in terms of education? The gap between SC/STs and the others, non-SC/STs, is huge at the time of independence. It's 25% to almost less than 5%. At the time of independence, the literacy rate is 40% in India. The 61 figure, which is a little, almost a decade later, 40 years later, literacy rate for SC/STs is 25%, non-SC/STs. SC/STs are around 4%. Almost, but then look at it from 1961, 71, 81, 91, to go on, decade. The gap was really closing enormously. Today, the illiteracy rate is very small. Literacy, let's put literacy. 65% is literacy in India in 2001. 2011 we don't have yet. Whereas SC/STs, they are about 50%. See the gap, how much they close. The gap is closing from almost very wide gap to, and so on in terms of employment and in terms of their participation in how much time? I'm not looking at it. Oh my God. All right, I'll try to close. I'll go to it. Okay, let's go to the last one, my conclusion. What I'm saying, Rajiv Malhotra, Neil Clinton's book opens up for serious researchers which can go 100 to 200 doctoral dissertations. He has done tremendous work. We've got to take this forward. And we don't need to. There is so much knowledge there. This can be advanced. That is what is intellectual battle we have. Okay, remarkable progress of SC/STs, which is unknown, unrevealed, unresearched. You've got to go to Rakesh Bandor, and I can provide that in internet. I'm sure you can find it. The report only came August 15, very recent. It's a 120-page report. And I went through, and it should be really next third one is, who must counter this fraudulent Dravidian Christian nexus. There is no grounds at all to show that SC/STs are, all these violations we're talking about have no foundation. We can go and challenge them. But the Indian government is not doing it. But we have to find a way to go and tell them, okay, what's the final? Taking care of the, how are we compared, Rakesh Bandor also compared, how are the backward communities in the US, what is their gap 150 years ago. What about from after the liberation, so-called liberation? What is the gap now? The gap is not closing now. The gap is still wide in years. But in India, we close the gap from advanced communities, not SCSTs, SCSTs. Thank you very much. That's my